Through majestic forests, alpine valleys and crystal clear lakes, following the trails of wild animals in search of rare birds, in places where no man had set a foot before. Precious, magnificent nature, in all its diversity and grandeur, in the documentary series Kazakhstan's Wildlife Sanctuaries. This winter in the mountains of Transil-Alatau turned out snowy. It's the beginning of March and spruce shrubs are still covered with thick layer of snow. Spring is not in a hurry to take its turn. The snow gets heavier under the bright sun, becomes loose and grainy. Heavy masses of snow accumulated during the winter lay on the steep slopes of rocks in narrow depressions. Minor friction would be enough to start a movement, and the whole mass will roll down with a dull roar. This is how devastating avalanches are born. 20 avalanches were registered in the territory of the ALMATY reserve this winter.
На прошлой неделе мы спускались с Алтынбеком Джанспаевым с научной базы, и нам преградила дорогу.
Last week we were walking down from our base with Алтынбек Джанспаев, and the avalanche had blocked the road. I was recording how tractor was clearing the way, its work. The moment I turned the camera on Алтынбек, he shouts, "Avalanche!" I jumped without looking back. The camera goes up and down. We got away from the avalanche. It might have looked funny, but in reality, avalanches are not a laughing matter.
Со стороны это вроде казалось бы как смешно, но на самом деле лавина это не шутки.
Avalanche starts as a snow dust. As we move down the slope, it is heated by friction on the rock, melts a little bit, then freezes and becomes very dense. Snow mass, dense as concrete, carries trees and stones, breaks them against rocks, smashing everything on its way. Avalanches can travel at 200 kilometers per hour. It is nearly impossible to run away from it. Though it's not the avalanche itself which causes greatest destruction. It's the air wave that comes before it. Avalanches pose a mortal threat to human life. Therefore, it is important to warn the population about the danger of avalanches.
Вот мы стоим в теле лавины. Вот смотрите, как она спрессовалась.
We are standing in the body of the avalanche. See how dense it is. It seems that even branches taken by the avalanche are tightly glued. These are extremely dangerous areas. See over there, it battled its way through. In case of snowfall, this is where the avalanche will come through again, meaning such areas are relatively dangerous.
Такие участки, они относительно опасные.
In the mountains, the danger of avalanches persists even when spring hits lowlands and mountain valleys. ALMATY National Nature Reserve is located in the central part of the Transil-Alatau Ridge. Its territory is divided into two sections, Taugar and Issyk. The nature of the reserve is unique and has wide diversity of mountain and meadow landscapes. Deciduous forests on the northern slopes, coniferous forests lay above them, rising almost to the foot of the glacier. Every day, security service inspectors bypass the territory of 71,700 hectares. Alexander Matvienko is one of the experienced staff members of the ALMATY Reserve. He's been observing the life of birds and animals in the wild for over 20 years now. It is not that easy to witness the inhabitants of the forest. Most animals are secretive, nocturnal, well camouflaged and very cautious. They won't let a human come too close. But with the help of binoculars, you can even see such rare animal as Turkestan lynx.
Последняя встреча с рысью произошла буквально недавно, в феврале месяце.
It was not long since I've seen the lynx, this February to be precise. We were watching a herd of roe deer grazing quietly and moving up the hill. We were examining the slope. Suddenly, the lens of binoculars caught a big cat, the lynx. Its size and behavior suggested that it was a male lynx. It's mating season for them now. Most probably, he was either looking for females or got wind of certain female and followed the trail. Watching the lives of wild animals helps understanding their habits and behavior. The world of nature is ruled by instincts of self-preservation and procreation, by laws of survival. For example, snow leopard zealously guards his territory. Therefore, even a man walking on the trail of an animal can become the object of his attention. Leopards like walking in your footsteps, meaning it may be walking near you throughout the day watching you without you noticing. I was lucky. I saw how a very big leopard was walking in my footsteps. Came near, looked closer. I turned around. He was sniffing that place and went on to do its cat's business, scratching trees, sniffing around just like domestic cats. Eventually, leopard realized that I outsmarted him. And little by little, we went our separate ways, minding our own businesses. Snow leopards are often called the shepherds of Tex, Siberian ibex. They follow ibexes up to exorbitant heights. This beast is elusive. This fact makes the incident of 1978 even more intriguing. Emaciated with disease leopard came down to people for help on cordon number 6 of Talgar area.
Когда наши научные сотрудники увидели снежного барса под елями, то они были очень удивлены.
When our research workers saw the snow leopard under first shrubs, they were very surprised. For 2 days they looked after the leopard, fed him in hopes that the leopard will eventually feel better and go back to the mountains. Unfortunately, that wasn't what happened. Snow leopard died. Turned out the leopard was old and ill.
Это был уже барс в возрасте, который был болен.
In recent years, they use camera traps to study the wildlife of ALMATY Reserve. Pictures capture scenes of snow leopards' family life, games of small leopards. These animals are especially active in the early morning. Camera traps are used to keep track of animals as well. Each leopard had a distinct color and pattern of spots.
Благодаря вот этим всем научным изысканиям, благодаря этим фотоловушкам, мы
According to our scientific research and camera traps data, there is a notable tendency of increase of snow leopard population in ALMATY Reserve. At least it didn't decrease. It was exciting to see that 7 leopards had passed through one of the gorges.
Буквально за несколько часов прошло 7 особей снежного барса.
This year, Museum of ALMATY Reserve will celebrate its 50th anniversary. In the course of those years, more than 3,000 exhibits were accumulated in collection of the museum. School children and tourists come here to listen to interesting stories about life of wild animals. For example, a story about why red deer is called noble.
Это животное было загнано на отстой, то есть в скальники.
This animal was cornered into climbing shoes in order not to become prey for wolves. It chose a seemingly noble death. It jumped from that cliff. In the end, that death turned into a new life, which continues here, in our museum. I guess it lived up to its name.
Он принял благородную смерть.
Charming nature of Transilel Atoll is the constant inspiration for Vladislav Yakushkin. He's a zoologist by training. He had worked in the Academy of Sciences for more than 10 years. But the passion for photography turned out to be stronger. So he switched to filming the wildlife. This is where his experience and knowledge of zoology came in handy. Today, Vladislav Yakushkin is one of the famous photo animalists of Kazakhstan.
Вот мы сейчас зимой здесь стоим.
We are standing here, it's winter, and I really want to go along the river and look for living insects there, under the sun.
Есть такие ледничники.
These are the snow mecopterus.
Они крохотные, 5-6
They are
миллиметров.
tiny,
Но
5-6
они вылупляются и
millimeters.
живут в феврале.
They hatch in
Вот
February.
февраль, вот
It's
конец
February now,
февраля, как
and
сейчас.
insects are hatching
Это
and
то
coming
самое
out to
время,
the
когда
surface.
насекомые
They
выходят
certainly are filled
на
with
поверхность.
antifreeze.
Но они
For most of
наверняка
them,
пропитаны
glycerol acts
антифризом.
as
В качестве
antifreeze agent.
антифриза у многих животных глицерин.
You have to know those mysterious natural mechanisms that control lives of wild animals in order to be able to take pictures. Once a year, an important event happens in the animal world. It's rut or rutting season. During these periods, animals sometimes even forget about the dangers. You may also find wild animals at the watering place or at salt marshes, where they regale themselves with salt after feeding on succulent grasses. The most difficult task is to try and stay unnoticed, to be able to peep in the most affecting moments of their lives.
Оленей я снимаю очень много, но дело в том, что
I
статичный
work a
снимок,
lot with deer.
когда олени
The
не
thing is
занимаются
that a
своим
simple
делом,
static
просто на тебя
picture is
смотрят,
not
он не
very
всегда
interesting.
интересен.
And when they are fighting or busy with their daily routines, that
А вот
is
когда
another
он
matter.
начинает драться или
To catch
еще
those
что-нибудь, в
moments,
общем,
you have to sit and watch them
что-то делает
closely.
свое,
It's a
занимается
waiting game.
повседневной жизнью.
For beginners
Это
to
нужно
go
долго
straight to
сидеть,
shooting
караулить, то
animals,
есть делать
well,
кратки
this is
и
almost
прочее.
impossible
Короче
to
говоря,
achieve
для
for
новичков
several reasons.
фотосъемка
First of all,
животных
it is
есть
very
почти
time-consuming,
недостижима в наших условиях
very
по
much
нескольким
so.
причинам.
Secondly,
Во-первых,
it
это
required
отнимает очень
very
много
good
времени.
equipment.
Очень много времени. Во-вторых, требуется очень хорошая аппаратура.
Even for experienced photographers, capturing large animals is a great success. Such photos are spectacular and interesting. However, meeting wild animals can be dangerous and unpredictable. Such photo shooting of the Tian Shan brown bear, Vladislav Yakushkin will never forget.
Он находился в долине
The bear
такой
was in a small
небольшой,
valley,
а я
and I
сверху
took
его
several
несколько раз
pictures from above.
фотографировал. Но
But the
техника у
camera I
меня
was
была
using was quite noisy.
достаточно шумной.
It was before
Это еще
digital
была
era, and it
пленочная
was
эпоха.
clicking
И
loudly.
щелкала она достаточно
That bear
громко,
clearly
то
heard
есть
it.
медведь явно услышал.
Bear's sight is weaker than his hearing. It decided to inquire who was making those noises and approached men from the leeward side.
Когда я очнулся, он уже был
When I got
30
out of
метрах и
stupor, the
направлялся
bear
ко
was
мне.
30 meters away and heading towards me. When shooting a bear or any other animal, there is one clear rule. In any case, do not run. Not from dogs, not from any other large animal. That may trigger their persecution instinct and they begin to look at you as a prey. Therefore, after the bear no longer fit in my viewfinder, I got up. Bear also reared.
Медведь тоже встал на дыбы.
The standoff between a man and the beast lasted for a few minutes, but for photographer these minutes lasted for eternity. To scare off the bear, he began throwing stones at it.
И камень попал на марену такую, небольшой курун.
One of the
ну,
stone got
осыпь
into the marine,
каменистая.
a small rocky scree.
И он застучал.
It started to rattle, stones started to fall.
Медведь рявкнул на меня,
Bear
потом
roared
начал
at me and
оглядываться,
started
кто
to
это
look
там.
around.
У
Who's
него
there?
уже никогда глюков
He
не
never
бывает,
get
то есть
glitches.
то, что он слышал,
If he can
значит,
hear
слышал.
knock,
Раз он
that
слышал
means
стук,
someone
значит,
is
кто-то
sneaking up.
подкрадывается.
He even
Он еще
snapped at
рявкнул на
me,
меня, дескать,
as if
вот
saying that it is
как
not
не
fair
очень
for two to
хорошо
come against one.
вдвоем на одного нападать.
He turned around. I was standing there, rooted to the spot.
Повернулся,
He
я
growled
стою
and
как
slowly
вкопанный,
began
то
to
есть мне
leave.
это самое. Он еще порычал и потихоньку стал уходить.
Vladislav Yakushkin visited almost all the reserves and national parks of Kazakhstan. Every photograph is a different story, a unique event in wildlife. Photo animalist is willing to give some precious advice for novices of photography.
Человек должен
It is not enough to love this craft, you need to know it. You need expertise of knowledgeable person, game manager, local ranger or research staff and their presence if necessary. The wildlife lives by its own laws and it is not a place for walking alone, even if you want to make an original photo or simply enjoy the beautiful scenery. It is best to ask the staff to accompany you. They love their job and will share interesting stories from the life of the local fauna.